Umichiji Puranto, Dususanje Kunjingonya, Rasa Chukungo Taba, Sawa Lamana Guja, Namana Zenanda Jelamala, Nasi Sujabambe, Kazoyan Suande, Kodan Rosu Jingelo, Jason, Nombosu Jia, Masajume Jevedo, Chimbe Shangadan. Zevedayin Katinje, Roja Ramboje, Dasin Jingana Sonde, Chuni Jingando Jingelo, Sentune Jemenanda Je, Londe Chuku Doba Jingelo, Taso Senjeta Jelo, Josoro, Jigilaptos, Cholando Loa, Jigilaptos, Landruba Sawa, Jigilaptos, Truba Ishu Jawa, Jingilaptos, Nujita Bandela Mansola Japso, Chuji Sanjala Mansola Japso. Nasa Pandala Mansola Japso Jawa, Tobeta Drua Jingilaptos, Tuchishin Drua Jingilaptos, and Zeton and Namba Jingilaptos. Chaja Chamber Chojungo, Sentinela, Dobra Jingilaptos, Sanja Kunda Savala Malaya, Kusunkuba Chamber Chasalon, the Menalo Rawan Shabada, Sedan Dropa Nyamba Jingelo. What up, Jeto Chishi Jerezo Drawing, Shinjamento to Jabonjamba, Sigilombo, the Bonjibeco, Shijetso, the Language, Temeva Satoji Jango, Monte Shijango Jida, Tancheseba Kunji Chuji, Yaman Dragon Ranjango. Good afternoon. So today, Condor Blanco Bodhisattva Sangha requests me to talk about 8 noble paths. So I will try my best. I'm sure some of you better than me, but just listen. Even you better than me, maybe some benefit can get. So I don't know. It's unfortunately or fortunately, lots of people who join to the Buddhism, and especially Vajrayana practitioner, Tibetan Buddhism, seems they know lots of high level of teachings, really like really high teachings. But at the same time, their lack of understand of the foundation, basic things, like a true identity of the Buddhism. Sometimes, we don't have that true identity of the, what it make us a Buddhism. And lots of high things there on the air, but feet is not on the ground. So it's just hanging there. Have no idea where going to land. so that reason, I like sometimes explain a little bit on those subjects, like Four Noble Truths, the 8 Noble Path, 6 Paramita, those things. I think sometimes people kind of neglect on them because they think that is a kind of like a preliminary teaching or beginner. Lots of people said, oh, those are for the beginner. So that way, without this some basic things in some of practice of what we do, it not necessarily they will become Buddhism. Sometimes it's really difficult to say. Like I can give you one example. It's like lots of people really like to understand or practice or receiving teaching on the like wind channel bindu, things like that. Actually, wind channel bindu is not only Buddhist practice. It's a common practice in India, Hindu, Buddhism, everyone they practice those things. So that way, it's not necessarily some of those practice. It will make you truly Buddhism, or it not necessarily you are on the path of the Buddhahood. So so we should also learn subject like 8 noble paths. So okay, so today I'll try to go through that little bit, and we'll see what happened. So this eight noble path is a basically in this subject uh, as a like a main path of the is in the Buddhism we call the Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. Everybody have to follow on this eight noble path. There's no, you know, there are no more, no less in the Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. All three yana basic. They think they as this one as a like a, I think example is a path is a one, okay. Some using that path to reach to the uh, uh, certain area by themselves. It's called the Hinayana. And some using that path to want to take every loved one, you know, all their loved one is want to take there. It's called the Mahayana. And some, they don't need to go there, the special place. They created wherever we are, that place as that special places created. So that is a Vajrayana. So, but point is, it would have to reach somewhere. So that place is the same Buddhahood, you know, state of the Nirvana. So that reason, Buddha basically taught for his first teachings is called the Four Noble Truth. So detail of the Four Noble Truth, or maybe some information, more information about the Four Noble Truth, I will teach later in the July, I think 17. Is Buddha's first will of Dharma, you know, day. So I'm going to talk about a little bit more on the Four Noble Truth. Is called the truth of the path. So truth of the path, it means that something is a truth, something is a bring to the true meaning from that. What it say is real, you know. Like we have a lots of method, okay, mundane livelihood. We have a lots of mundane lively method, and we think those methods bring to the happiness, but none of them bring to the happiness, you know. But so that way they are not true path. Why? Because it never bring to the true happiness. But if you follow in this instruction taught by Buddha, it definitely bring you to the you know, permanent happiness. That way it's called the true path, truth one. So that is the distinguishing what is the true path and what is not true. Because mundane you know, livelihood, we think they are part of the happiness. Like when you go to school, you think the education is to make you happier. Then you get a job, you think the good job is going to make you happier. Then from the job, you get some salary, then you buy house, you buy car, you know, you extended your family, then you think it's going to make happier. But end of the day, none of them cannot make you truly happy. Why? Because it's not the really path to the happiness. It's not going to bring you to the true happiness. So that way it's not the truth. You know, this is not real. So what is a real or what is a truth as to the bring to the happiness is it like Eight Noble Path. So if anyone, doesn't matter, anyone who, you know, without mistakenly follow to the Eight Noble Path, then that person definitely reach to the state of the happiness. That's no doubt. So that way it's called the true path. So that from the Four Noble Truth. So truth of the path, which is a Eight Noble Path. So that way I thought maybe today we talk a little bit about this.
Okay.
So first one is it's called the from also you can say this way. This in the Hinayana or Theravada tradition, in the Hinayana tradition, they use as a eight noble path. In the Mahayana, they use as a six paramita. Both of them are actually teaching about how to practice the three trainings. So that way, in this eight noble path is a, actually training of the teaching on the how to practice the three trainings, because Buddha answer to the Mahakashyapa. So when Mahakashyapa asked to how to actually achieve the nirvana, free from samsara, and Buddha said, if you follow to those three stage of three trainings, training of the morality, training of the samadhi, training of the wisdom, then you will reach to the nirvana. But without going through practice of the three training, just having prayer or just doing some ritual or prayer alone, not going to reach to the nirvana. So only person who follow or practice the three training, they can reach to the nirvana. So the reason eight noble path or six paramita, both of them are, it's a different, looks a different subject, but both of them are actually teaching on how to practice the three trainings. So here, in the eight noble path, first is there's called the right view, and right thought. Those two are related to the training of wisdom from the three trainings.
Okay.
So this one called the right view in the English we're using. In the Sanskrit, there's a two word. Basically, you can say two. It's called the samyak grati. So samyak is in here. Lots of time people translate as a right. Also, samyak mean the truth. Something is true. So that way, right or true view. So there are lots of view. Basic view mean, basic grat or view mean something is a what called the kind of like a rational mind. Whatever we make in the rationally in our mind, they all is a view. There are lots of different. Long as you have a conceptual, okay, you have this is all view. Like when we are a child born from the mother's womb freshly, we don't have the view, because for us totally clean. Then we make the rational mind of this is good, this is bad, you're allowed to do this one, you're not allowed to do this one. And we make rule, regulation, and those all built that one as become part of the view. So basic view mean kind of a rational mind or just some kind of concept.
Conditioning.
Not really. I don't know conditioning can say. So some kind of concept. What long as you have this is this one. Like you said, this is a good one. This is a bad one. Make sense? This is a south. This is east. This is a west. So we said, then somebody said, no, this is not south. This is a west. Then you're not going to agree with that. You said, no, this is the south. You idiot. Look this way. You should try to show the map. But not necessarily that is true. Lots of things we made it in the mind is not necessarily true. That way, it's a view, but it's not right view. So it's not necessarily true view of your rational mind is, but it is a view. So that way, basically, view have no limitation. Long as you have the conceptual, mental. Mental faculty, yeah. Mental faculty is there, view is there. I mean, unless you have no conceptual, then I don't know. Otherwise, as long as we have a conceptual thought, that's view is there. But not necessarily all what we think are right, all what we think are truth. So that reason here said samyak mean the truth one, right one, correct one. So that reason we have to in the Buddhism we have to figure out the right view, not just view. If that's just view is everyone have a view, my view, your view, what I think is my view, what you think is your view, and not necessarily we have to agree with that. There's no need to agree. Long as it's for me, it's true. Then it's true for me, but it's not necessarily really, what called uh, uh, absolute truth. Make sense? So that way, a view itself is mean not really, mean not much. But when it with the right view, then it comes something is a really more profound. So what is the profound is on the right view is it when someone certainty having on the true nature. So who can have this certainty on the true nature is a Bodhisattva or Arhat. Once they have a realization of the absolute nature, after that, like that is happen in the first bhumi, then after the second bhumi, there is called the post meditation. Post meditation means that when you're taking a break from the absorption, that's called the post meditation. At that time, they see phenomena, they see reality. That is not same as what we can see. So that is called the true view. So is which is a something have to do by seeing our true nature, like see the nature of a mind or see the nature of phenomena. Something you see the truth on the phenomena, then that is what is mean the right view, because this is truth. This is a correct one. So that way is we have to understand what is a right view mean. That somebody have a directly realization of the nature, directly seeing the nature, not just hearing, not just contemplating, not just understood. They see, sometimes in the Vajrayana they call the naked eye see the nature, So whoever have that direct seeing the true nature is called the view. So in the Vajrayana sometimes it's used as a Mahamudra, sometimes used as a Dzogchen. In the Sudra tradition it's called the middle way or realization of the emptiness. And Hinayana they use as a realization of the selflessness. Those are meaning is a word is a different, but meaning is the same. But point is seeing the true meaning of that phenomena. Like what we see and those Bodhisattva can see is different. We may see the house, but we see it's a solid. Bodhisattva see the house, but see as an illusion. It's more like a more like a what called the magical illusion, can say.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a difference. So that way for somebody you can see the phenomena like house and car and tree see as the same, but they see true nature of it, true meaning of it, and we don't see that. That is the difference. So what we see the tree is called the not right view, because it's incorrect view. What Bodhisattva can see the tree is called the right view, because they see the true nature of that tree, not just only appearance itself. So that way, right view means the view of the viewer have the deeper level of understand of the true reality of that particular phenomena. So that way it's called the right view, because it is correct. It is a truth. It's unmistaking. What we perceiving is a mistaking. We are deluded. That way mistake. So because of that mistake, then we build lot of emotions. Yeah, we said, oh, this is attachment, this is beautiful, attached. Oh, this is so ugly, angry. Those all emotion come. Why? Because we don't see the truth of that phenomena. When somebody can see that the true reality of that phenomena, they don't have that emotion. So that is the difference between the us and enlightened beings. Why? Because we see as a solid. Enlightened beings see that as an illusion, not real. That is different. So that way, for us, I have that strong emotion. They don't have that emotion. So because of that emotion, of our mistaken emotion, we suffer. And Bodhisattva and enlightened being, because they don't have that emotion, they are free from suffering. They don't have that emotion, roller coaster. So that is different. Viewing is the same. So that way, that way is called the right view. Also, this is basically called the right view. It's called the knowledge of realizing the absolute truth. So what is the difference, realize the absolute truth one and not realize the absolute truth one? Is a not realize the absolute truth one is a caught it in the what called web of dualistic. So that way we are stuck. Realizing the truth one is free from the dualistic. That is different. So rational mind with the dualistic is called the incorrect view. Yeah, then you can use as a rational mind. Yeah, you can say rational mind, but with the understand or realization of the non-duality is the absolute truth. So that is the right view or true view. So that is our goal in the Buddhism. Why? Because of our mind diluted with this conceptual of a dualistic, then we have this all emotion, Dualistic created the emotion of attachment or hatred. So dualistic is created by the ignorance. So that way these three emotion is the root of the samsara. Long as we are with these three emotion, we cannot be, there are no chance to free from samsara. So what is the main medicine for that? Or what is the main antidote of the cutting that thought is the wisdom. With wisdom, what is the wisdom? Is it mean the understand or realization of the non-duality. So without the non-duality, without the seeing the absolute truth, there's no other no other path or no other antidote to that we can cure or we can liberate from the cyclic existence. So that is the only method. This is a non-duality wisdom or absolute truth is the only method of liberation. So if you look this way, in the Mahayana, there's 6 paramita. Practice of the 6 paramita, they said, without the wisdom, other paramita cannot reach to the nirvana. So they put the example is a other 5 paramita like generosity, moral ethic, patience, perseverance, metric concentration. Those are like a bunch of blind people. So that blind people need one guide here, guide to lead them to go somewhere with the eye. The guide need the eye. So the eye is the wisdom. So what is the wisdom? Is it the knowing the true nature, true nature. So that way, right view is the kind of a main method to uproot it from the samsara. lots of people meditate, and through the meditation too, you can reduce your emotion by meditation, but it's not going to uproot. So what is different is a meditation mind is like a jungle is caught in the fire, completely burned out. Okay, through the meditation, it seems like you have no emotion anymore. You can get there, but that jungle completely burned by the fire, and slowly rain, and the soil is more like a nutrition is built a little bit more, then all those ash become what called
New life.
ash become soil, what called the fertilizer, and it build, then all the tree come back. Why? Because root is not gone. So through the meditation cannot uproot, but wisdom is like a tree from the root to pick it up. So then no more. So that way, through the meditation, you can bond to the formed realm and formless realm. Seems like you have no suffering whatsoever. But that is also temporary. Once your karmic is finished, they come back. So only wisdom, this right view, only this is the key of what called the key method or key antidote of the liberation. So this is the most important part of the Buddhist teaching as the wisdom. Of course, I'm not saying it's only is good, other support, without other support cannot. So that way those are kind of combination. But wisdom of the knowing of the right view, or whatever you call the knowing of the absolute truth, or knowing of the Mahamudra, or knowing of the nature of the mind, is the same. This true realization is the only key to us liberated. So without this one, other practice, they are, basically is a
It's still a delusion.
yeah, basically it's not really going to give you the true fruit of what you wishing to be. Is called the nirvana. So that way, right view, this you have to understand. It just take time. Here I'm spending more time on this because that I think that is really important to, Buddha always said, you have to awake your mind. Light your own lamp. So lighting lamp means the seeing the, what is there. No lamp is a delusion. Light lamp is awareness. So you have to aware. What you have to aware is the true nature. That true nature realization is called the absolute truth of the what called the samyak grati, or what you call right view. This I think a little bit taking time, but I want to still want to talk on this. This right view is not come causelessly. Some people may think, oh, I just think it will come. It have to be complete cause and condition. Without the complete cause and condition, cannot realize that right view. So Buddha Midriya in the ornament of the Mahayana Sutra mentioned the three causes to realize the absolute truth. So first it said to delight the Buddha. So you have to think, what make the delight the Buddha? Lots of time we think the offering that those, what we arrange in front of the Buddha, that make delight. I don't think so, that alone. You need really, so you need a really true, genuine, altruistic motivation of the Bodhicitta that make the delight of Buddha. I think so. Without that, cannot. So that way, whoever have the Bodhicitta in their mind is called the son or daughter of the Buddha. Make sense? So that one, delight the Buddha one. Then second is a have to means of accumulation. We have to accumulate the merit and accumulate the wisdom. So that way, if you look the Vajrayana sadhana, everyone have a refuge, bodhicitta, four immeasurable, seven lamp offering, and a lot of offering involved there, outer inner secret, and also meditation on the emptiness. Those all are part of the true accumulation. Then third one is called the meditate on the non-conceptual wisdom. So those three are the main cause of the realization of emptiness. And if you look on the Mahayana teaching, Vajrayana teachings,
Sorry, Khenpo, can you say again number 3? I cannot hear very well.
meditation on the non-conceptual wisdom.
Thank you.
And in the Vajrayana teachings, lots of time you will see absolute true nature is only can realize through the true mass of accumulation and the blessing of the Guru. So this blessing of the Guru is the same as a pleasing or delighting to the Buddha. Those are the same basically. So blessing of the Guru is you need the devotion, faith, So that way, this absolute or right view, if you truly want to realize this one, then you have to be, gather all those complete cause. Without those complete cause, just hoping or just praying, just wishing, just thinking on it is not going to have the realization. You may have some degree of understanding, you may have some degree of experience, but not going to come the realization. So okay, then second is a right thought. Basically, thought means that just thinking. Everybody, we all have thinking. We always say thinking. Our mind is called the monkey mind. It means too much thinking. But here, this one is because you have the directly realization of the true nature or the absolute truth. So you have the vocal skill. You can guide other, correct way to path. That is called the right thought. So that's the speech that can lead other to understand through the thought that you express in the voice. So that is what thought mean. But not every thought cannot be right thought, because every thought is a right thought. We don't need to meditate. We just keep our monkey mind. That's good. It's not right. It's wrong. That way we need to meditate, to train the mind from the thought. Controlling from the thought. But this one is a thought or intention. Can say intention or the conceptual that have pure understand of the true meaning that you can express to other without the mistakenly. So that is what is a right thought. So, so this is a little bit different than the next one. First, okay. So those two are normally is called the training of the wisdom. But sometimes right thought is also count as a training of the morality. I think maybe there's a reason, because right thought and right speech are really closeness. Right thought means that you have that, thought of what you're going to give teachings, what you're going to explain, what you're going to say. So that is a right thought. Then third one is called the right speech. It's called the samyak vak. Vak means the speech. So true speech, right speech. This is also someone who have a direct realization of the absolute nature. Then they can express, It's called sometimes it's called the Lama's oral instruction. Oral instruction. Why is the Lama's oral instruction is really important? Because the Lama's oral instruction is expressing his or her own through the own experience, not just reading from the book, not just memorizing from someone's word. His or her own oral experience is explained. That way we have lots of different view name like a Mahamudra Dzogchen. It's come that way. Each one have their own way to express. So it's not like one is right, one is wrong. Sometimes I see this one, Mahamudra is not good as a Dzogchen or this and that. Those are people who have no idea what is the Dzogchen or what is a Mahamudra. Just namely the Dzogchen practitioner or Mahamudra practitioner, they said this is better than that one. But the person who really absolutely have understand or realization, they will never say that one. Because when it comes to the true inner meaning, those are same. Why? Because it's just each one is expressing different way. Some said food is so delicious, and some said food is so their word different express. So good, yeah.
Delicious, fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic, good, but it's mean the expressing the good quality, same meaning, So it's just like a Mahamudra Dzogchen, middle way. All those are same. So point is so that one, somebody who have a directly realized one can give that teaching without the mistaking that Dharma is a teach, with the right way. So that is called the right speech. Because when we teaching from the word, which is memorized or just reading the text alone, there no really not necessarily we can,
Words don't explain it, so if you don't
not necessarily we can really truly reliable on that, because we may wrongly memorize. Make sense? Like you listen some story, each one tell little bit different story, even same story. Each person passing story change, because our memory is not that great. So that way, if just only from the memory, maybe not necessarily is a right speech. But those kind of great master who have a direct realization of the right view, when they say, their word, they all the authentic one. So that way, it's called the right speech, and that is how you can trust on them. Their speech, that speech, is called all the noble beings. So there are many reasons to you can trust those noble beings. One, they have no self-center of the building their own equalness. So that way, they're not going to deceive you. You can trust them. Two, they're not just talking about something like they heard or they, like some kind of remembering some things. They're talking about their own experience. Like if you haven't been to the Lhasa, for example, when you try to talk about the Lhasa, not necessarily you will say all the correct things. Sometimes you may mistake with the temple and person. But if you have been Lhasa and you saw everything, then you will not going to mistake it. You will tell correctly where it is, which direction, and how tall or low or whatever. So all those can tell you. So this is the same way. Somebody who have a directly realization, their speech is trustworthy. That way called the right speech or samyak vak. You see, it's mean the trustable speech. Those who have directly realized this right view, yeah. And number 4, red action. Actually, Tibetan called the Yandabe Legita. It should be right extreme action. why is extreme here? Because it's only one side that action is a. Normally action have good action, bad actions. But this bodhisattva or any this practitioner who have a right view, with the person with the right view, they will never engage in on the impure action such as a 10 non-virtue. So they are totally complete abandoning on the 10 non-virtue. That way is called the right extreme action, or you can say that person who is pure in all action. So his or her action is completely pure. So that way, extreme means the only one side. So someone who totally, free from that kind of 10 non-virtues, like a killing, sexual misconduct, stealing from the body, from the speech, lying, harsh word, idle talk, divisive speech, and from the mind, covetousness, harmful thought, and wrong view. So someone who completely free from that is who can be those bodhisattvas. That way earlier I said who have a realization of the right view, they even see the form, they don't have the negative. Make sense? So that way they're not going to make the create negative karma, since they don't have a negative emotion. So those bodhisattvas or anyone who have a realization of the right view, they are totally free from the 10 non-virtue or 10 negative karma. So that way they call the right extreme action, or you can say who has only pure action. Yeah. So that is what is a right action mean. Okay, then number 5 is called the right livelihood. Basically, livelihood means that to support, sustain, keeping life alive. So anything you do keep you alive. Yeah, like putting clothes, eating food, all those things is part of, basically we try to keep our life with the what called sustaining our life. Yeah, but common or mundane life, there's lots of involvement of the negative for that. Cheating, deceiving, and this. So the reason Buddha said there are 5 things wrong livelihood. So monks must avoiding the 5 things, because if you do one of those 5, it's a wrong livelihood. You cannot enjoy with that yourself, and you cannot offer wrong livelihood material to the to other monks. So like for example, there's a called the 5 wrong livelihood. The first is a flitter, like saying something nice to someone. Oh, you are so wonderful. Flatter. Try to get some offering. So you say, oh, you are so kind, you are so compassionate, and you should do this. So basically, say, yeah, those so aiming as a donation. Yes, wrong motivation is saying lots of good things. So aiming as a donation. That is one. Second one is called hinting. Hinting means that you go to someone, oh, such and such offered this one, such and such did this to me, you are, oh, I wish I have something like that, so nicely, actually, not directly asking to give me this one, but hintingly asking. So second one, that one. And third one is called the seeking reward for the favor. So you do something, you give them some kind of like souvenir, small gift, said, oh, it's a blessing or this and that. These days, all monks have that one, pretty much. Every Lama have that gift. So I'm not saying everyone them as that wrong livelihood. Okay, don't mistake. But sometimes they use that one as a, like we Tibetan, we call the stone for bringing that, like a mud. Like if you have a cliff, what call this?
A cliff?
Mud cliff. You want to fall down, you hit them. Yeah.
Okay.
So try to get some, some favorable. So first giving them like a
So
good
it's a bribe.
service.
It's a bribe.
Yeah, bribe. Yes, also something like that. And fourth one is called pretentious
Pretentious?
behavior. Yeah, so you are front of those, all the devoter comes, then you wear a robe nicely, you sit really kindly, you so, disciplined, compassionate, act like that. When they're gone, then you become your normal. So that is what it means. And the last one is called the contact. Contact mean?
Contrived?
Yeah, contrived. So kind of like forcefully. Yeah. So if you collecting donation or anything with this skill, it's called the wrong livelihood. But my understanding is a wrong livelihood is you taking from others without that they are willing to give you. Yeah?
Coercion.
But yeah, different way to use his skill.
Manipulation.
Yes. Yes. Also, you are taking offering that is related to harm other sentient beings.
Because it causes their
Yes.
emotion.
Yes. So that way, it's called the impure material. Actually, when you accept that one, impure material, because it comes from the negative.
So like accepting a donation from a drug dealer.
Yes, from donation from the drug dealer, donation from the thief, donation from the someone's, whatever. I mean, the robber, any kind of things that is involved to the harm other sentient beings. Then it become a wrong livelihood. In India, in the most famous universe in the Buddhist is Nalanda. Nalanda is originally built by Saraha. And after establishing the Nalanda, and Saraha went to 12 years in the forest retreat. So when he was in the 12 years forest retreat, he left all the Nalanda, his disciple Nagarjuna, become Nagarjuna as a head of the Nalanda. So there 1 year, because there's no rain, there are no offering, because the people have no food. So Nagarjuna he knew how to make from metal to gold. He knows some kind of
Alchemy.
Yeah, alchemy, yeah. So he changed that one and he sold the gold and exchanged with the food. So when Sarah come out from the retreat, and Sarah has called to the Nagarjuna, said, you offer my monk wrong livelihood offering. You need purified. So Nagarjuna asked his master how I can purify this one. So Sarah has said, you have to build 1 billion stupa in the world. That is a punishment for giving. I think this is becoming part of the contract means. Yeah? Contract mean? Contract. C-O. Contrived. Contrived mean. I think this has become a part of the contract mean. So that way, Nagarjuna received the punishment by offering that food to the monk. So, that is that way, you're not allowed to accept that kind of donation, and you cannot give to anyone else that kind of related to money, whatever. So that is what is mean the Bodhisattva who are pure from this kind of action. Yeah, that is called the right livelihood. Then I think we talk post is the number can say number 7. I will come back number 6. Number 7 is called the right mindfulness. So mindfulness is the key to reach to the right view, actually. So we talk about the meditation. Yeah, meditation is the mindfulness. Lots of teaching in the meditation teaching is said, Tamba Gomji Nguishins, actually meditation is the mindfulness. So you have to mind on so basically mindfulness means the purifying the subsidiary subsidiary emotional obscurations. So you basically stay in the single point on the focal object without losing that one.
So mindfulness brings you back to the awareness so
Yeah.
that you can then do all of them correctly from the view on.
So that way, this is a third training. Mindfulness and samadhi is the third training, called the training of the samadhi. Concentration, meditation. Lots of people use as a meditation. So mindfulness is like an example. Is if you have an empty house, in the empty house, you live on a monkey, and that house have lots of window. So that monkey will show up every window. It's not going to just sit on one window. The monkey jump here, there. Seems like there are too many monkeys. So this is the same as our conceptual. Sometimes our monkey mind is a jump through the eye, sometimes through the nose, sometimes through the mouth, sometimes through the ears, all busy like a monkey inside the house. But when someone goes into the house and put the pillar center of the house and tie the monkey there, then you will not see the monkey through the window. So that is what is mindfulness mean. That through the karma biting meditation, we are bringing mind into the state of the one pointness, not go here, there, not go through the conceptual of the window of ear, eye. So that is the meditation mean that you have to use first for the training for that. You have to use as a mindfulness of a focal object of a pillar and mindfulness of a rope. But once you train really well, then you don't need that one. Without the rope, without the focal object of a pillar, you will still sit there. So when a monkey is really well trained and no longer need the rope, wherever you ask, it will stay there. Right now, our monkey mind, you ask them to stay here, it not stay there, jump there. Yeah? So we don't have the mindfulness of the pillar. So we need the mindfulness of a focal object and the mindfulness of the rope. We don't have those ones. So that way is really, really what call this? Spoil mind. So how to train on that mind stay with the mindfulness to on the focal object, and have to train by hook of what called the awareness. You know, like elephant trainer have the metal hook. When elephant not listening, they hit that one. So that is a painful. So similarly, the hook of awareness is called the alertness. Yeah, alertness. So those two together bring to the mind to the number 8 called the right samadhi. You know, so this is it. These two are training of the samadhi. Then I didn't say number 6. Number 6 called the right effort. Right effort means the support of all those three. You need feeling of joy when you doing that one. If you don't have a feeling of joy, you will never continue. You will never pursue it. So that way, if you look this way, if people start with a class or practice or anything, when it starts, there are so many people comes, slowly increasing, yeah, not increasing. I mean, no, decreasing. You know, they're dropping. Why? Because they don't have that perseverance, feeling of joy. They just do some kind of excitement. So if you have a feeling of joy, no matter how difficult it is, you will never give up. So you need that one to continue this one, because this 3 training is not one day job. This 3 training is not for few hours of practice. This 3 training is not for just sometimes. You need this 3 training now on until become a Buddhahood. Only can keep that one is if you have a perseverance. So perseverance means the feeling of a joy on the virtuous action. That is what is truly perseverance mean. Not just putting effort is not good enough. Because the effort we can put to the negative action too. You know, butcher, work hard for killing. They work hard. You know, it's not easy. They put effort, but that is not perseverance. Why? Because that is called the laziness of the being attached to the negative action. That's one of the lazy. So here, perseverance means that any kind of those 3 training you want to train, you need a feeling of joy. You have to figure out how to make the feeling of joy. So this perseverance or right, what called? Effort, right effort. The Sanskrit is called the samyak vayayama. Vayayama is in this definition, in the jewel ornament, is said, definition of the perseverance is a feeling of the joy in the virtue, not just feeling of the joy itself, in the virtue. So there's a called the Abhidhamma, the text. It said, Abhidhamma said, what does perseverance mean? It is an antidote of laziness. And it's having total joy in the virtue. So how we can have that feeling of the joy on the difficulty path? Like how this way I can say, how Milareva have a feeling of the joy just only eating the nettle. Yeah. How Buddha had a feeling of the joy just only eating there's a fruit called kind of olive fruit, you know, only once a day. So they have that feeling of the joy, even physically misery, physically really suffering, still have feeling of the joy because they knew that what kind of benefit they're going to get, what kind of result will they achieve. So like when you go to the gym, you know, it makes you really exhausted. But still you have a feeling of the joy. Why? Because it will bring you good shape. It makes you healthy. You know? So that is it. That is it. When that feeling of the joy is there, you will never give up. So that way this perseverance or right effort is the necessary for the view, for the meditation, for the discipline. Everything need that one. That way, we will continue until we reach our goal. People who dropping from the can say class, class or whatever the group practice or whatever. So from the middle way they dropping is because they are lack of a perseverance. This reason, this perseverance is the support of all the three training. So I'm sorry it took a little bit longer than you give me time, so I apologize for that. Timetable. So overall, sorry, even take a little bit longer. Overall, training of the morality is a discipline of your body. Because your body need to bring to the sudden, what called the structure, called the essential point of the body. So when you want to meditate, body's support is a necessity. Long as our consciousness is using this body's support is a necessity. So that way you need to physically training, discipline on the body. So that way training of the morality is called the discipline of the body. And the training of the samadhi is a discipline of the mind. When those two are disciplined, you will have a training of the wisdom of awareness. Without those two, you cannot have awareness. A simple way I can explain is, for example, you go to class, any class. If you are physically not really disciplined, you cannot concentrate to the lecturer, whoever giving teachings. You need physically some degree of discipline to listen. So once you have that physical discipline, then your mind can concentrate on the lecture, on the teachings. That is a absorption. Yeah. So when you have those two supported mentally and physically, then you will learn something. If your physically is not disciplined, you're talking to someone, you are sleeping, or you're not, doing something that is not really, supportive to your mind to concentrate, then that's called the undisciplined physically. Once your physically is not disciplined, it's impossible to have a mentally concentration. Unless you're really well trained like a Mahasiddha. Those are different cases. Because they don't need rely on the physical body. They can control their element. We cannot control our element. It means that they can control their mind. They have this called the Xinjiang in Tibetan. Xinjiang means the mind is really flexible. Okay? So their mind is like a Play-Doh, fresh one. Our mind is a Play-Doh, completely dry one. so Play-Doh, fresh one, is you can make any kind of shape, easy. But a dry one, impossible to try to make any shape. So that reason, we need those two training to learn something, to aware something. So that way, without the support of the training of the morality and training of the samadhi, it is difficult to gain the wisdom. So that reason Buddha taught the three trainings. Otherwise, wisdom alone is possible. Then Buddha said from the beginning, just have wisdom is enough. So this is the step-by-step have to reach there. There's one question. I think that's a question, but it's in Spanish. So can you read that for me?
Yes, sure. It says if it's possible to explain how we can develop this thought, these correct thoughts, and how can we improve as persons? Because usually when we think, when we use our conceptual mind, we immediately become trapped in duality and we separate things. So she's asking how to train in the correct thought.
So training, as it so earlier mentioned, the three training of the morality. First, you have to learn how to discipline your physical body. You have to bring your under your control. your body. Make sure your body is really flexible. When you want to meditate, as long as you want to meditate, you can meditate. You know, for us, when we try to meditate, immediately our knee hurt, our hip hurt, our back hurt. Our mind, body is really not supportive. So you have to train until it becomes flexible that you can meditate as long as you want. Then you have to train your mind. You know, bring your own under your control. You know, right now our mind is really like a monkey or a really spoiled child. Never listened anyone. So try to bring to the under control too. Then you will have this called the view or realization. Once you have that realization, and there's only pure thought, only right thought, there will not have a problem of conceptual.
Okay.
So this is I think can say specialize of the Buddhism. Only Buddha talk step by step how to get there. So all the path is a stage of the path. You know, you have to follow the step by step. Some are quicker, some are slower, but everyone have to go through that step by step. So that way is this 3 training is the step. You know how to reach there to the final can call all ultimate view. Yeah. That ultimate view, how to reach is a training of the morality, training of the samadhi, and through that too, and wisdom to reach there. So that way, there's no other way, kind of like in the Vajrayana we use as a quick path, but there's no without the going physically training or to reach to the mentally, because sometimes you may see those Mahasi the physically really not disciplined. Yeah, they totally disciplined. Why? Because their mind is 100% under control. So even they act like crazy, they act like stupid, they act like all those stupid things they do, whatever. I mean, we said bad, negative, but mind is always be under control. So that way, even they act like not control, but they are totally under control. We sometimes we act like control, to sit like a position of meditation, but mind is wandering here, ding, 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 everywhere. So maybe if not taking too long, I will give you one story. In Tibet, there's called the Drupal, crazy yogi, great Mahasiddha. And his brother is also great teacher. So one day his brother said, we are come from the family of the Dharma lineage, great Dharma teachers lineage, and we should do some retreat because we're practitioner. And Drupal agree, sure, we do retreat. And Drupal stay in one room, and then brother stay in another room, and they said, okay, we'll do this long retreat, like month or year, something they have agreement. So then Drupal is doing retreat really good. He's staying and doing all his practice session, all things doing. And his brother thought, wow, this time my brother is doing wonderful. He's really good at doing retreat. I should serve him better. I should send someone to Lhasa, buy some good food. When he was thinking, Drupal came out from his retreat cave. Then his brother said, we agree staying this long. And then Drupal said, I'm just coming out of this door. You already went to Lhasa. You broke first. That's why I'm coming out. So our mind, even we just in the retreat, the mind is not there in the retreat. So that way, those yogi, Mahasiddha, they look like they're wandering everywhere. The mind is in the retreat every time. Quiet. So that is that way. Those are special, different. But ordinary like us, then we need physical support. If we act like them, then we mistake. So they have a time to how to act. So that action have a divided called the ordinary act, a yogic act, Mahasiddha act, Buddha's act. So those are different. What yogi can do, ordinary cannot do. What Mahasiddha can do, yogi cannot do. What Buddha can do, what Mahasiddha cannot do. So that way, we have to act according to the time. Okay. So this right view, how to develop through the hearing, contemplate, meditation. Hearing means that you have to receive the instruction. Contemplate means that you have to make sure you understood correctly without the mistaking. So then once you have no doubt, once you understood the correctly, then you have to put on the practice. Then one day it will come. You turn your own light. Then you don't need to rely on anyone. You become a true independent. Okay, thank you so much. It took so long, and I waste your 40 minutes, so I'm sorry.
Muchas gracias a todos y disculpen porque nos hemos pasado 40 minutos. Hacemos las plegarias de dedicación.
Janju sem joy Rinpoche ma je pa na je joy ge pa nyam pa mem pa ya kone kondo pe wo joy dada konde tam je to sondo sabada yebe jeve zawade dada senje danje nyundo lana memba yanda ba zobe janju Rinpoche toba joje isheja konse konjen joje tende ne la wando tekon Rinpoche temba sede ba shetu to sang gomben senju. Okay, thank you so much everyone.